Hello and welcome back to another news video for a news recap for this week. So sit back, relax and enjoy. And starting off the news for this week, we have Lufthansa. And by the time this video goes up, this will have already happened. But Lufthansa will be deploying their Airbus A380 from May 31st, but because we're now, by the time this video goes up, we'll be pretty much a bit of the way into June. However, from May 31st, Munich to Washington Dulles will see the Airbus A380 on a daily service from Munich. And this will be replacing the Airbus A340-600, which before May 31st, this operated the route from Munich to Washington Dulles, also on its daily service. And Washington now becomes one of the destinations on Lufthansa's network that has seen the A380, as over the last 18 months, Lufthansa has been bringing back A380 service, of course, to routes that meet certain demand. Now, I am not entirely sure if it's a summer seasonal basis route or if it is a year-round route. That I have still not yet gathered. So, good news for Washington Dulles and good news for Lufthansa as they add another A380 route to the network. And this again, we've got more Boeing news for this week, so as pretty much expected, it's not good news. However, moving on, it's this time Boeing is denying allegations that are being made with the New York Times and a couple of other newspapers who are saying that there's again faults with the airplane, the Boeing 777's electrical systems. Now, Boeing is heavily denying these claims that the newspaper, the New York Times, is making, but more people, if it comes to Boeing and the New York Times, people might take the New York Times side, as of course we know that people don't really trust Boeing. Well, people that are not really into aviation don't really trust Boeing, but you know, I'm not saying that everyone doesn't, but now I don't know exactly what is wrong with the plane's electrical, the Boeing 777's electrical systems, but there is more to come out of this, and I'm only gathering a small little bit of it, so I'm not entirely sure what's wrong with the plane's electrics. I don't really know if it's like something to do with the lights or if it's APU wise. I don't really know much on this, but I thought it would be nice to add. So Boeing yet again is facing some more claims. And moving on to an airline that I have not really talked about much on this channel, but here starts with their debut with Starlux. And Starlux has announced saying that they will be increasing their number of Airbus A321neo family aircraft. And this number will go up by 6, but they'll not be placing an order with Airbus. Instead, they'll be doing it for a lease. So these 6 aircraft will not be fresh from Airbus, but they'll be for a lease. Now, the reason for this and why they're adding 6 new units is to add on to additional services, like add a secondary service and also expand on to other new destinations within Asia. But Starlux has also said that they will be not so much keen on using their Airbus A330-900 neos, which they have in the fleet. And by doing this, they said that the airline would, when the time comes to release the airplane, they will probably not be signing the contracts for every single one of their A330-900 neos. And now moving on to Turkish Airlines. And Turkish Airlines are edging closer to a landmark order for narrow-body and wide-body aircraft to modernise their fleet. And for this purchase, it will be with Boeing. Likely, they're saying for the 737 MAX or 787 family of aircraft. Now, I suppose one of the main reasons, and this is my personal opinion to why they are going for the 787, could be that these could be the aircraft that are put on their future routes and current route to Melbourne, Australia. However, it's not known what they might do with these aircraft, and even if the order goes through, but my personal opinion is that they could potentially be using these Dreamliners to potentially fly them to Australia. Now, I'm not saying that using the A350s that they have in their fleet and the one they have in order they placed a couple of months ago will not be put on the route, but maybe for Turkish Airlines the Dreamliner just sounds like a better option. And now moving on to Airbus, and Airbus with their A330neo program is getting some exciting news. And this being as we get our first glimpses of the Malaysia Airlines A330-900 Neo. And with this update from Malaysia, this means that they are getting closer to the gear up for their delivery of this brand new plane. Now, the aircraft is still a long way out from being delivered to Malaysia Airlines, as the cockpit, engines, landing gear, fuel and all that stuff has not yet been added to the aircraft. So the aircraft is still pretty much an empty shell of a plane, but should be, hopefully, ready for delivery some point in the near future. And then, of course, once the aircraft is built, it's still got to go through its ground checks and its checks to see if its landing gear is fine, its engine tests, and even some air tests, as I said, with the landing gear down, up, and a bunch of tests in the air before the aircraft could be delivered to the airline. And then after that, it will go to the cabin installation, where it will then be giving its business class and premium economy and economy class to fit what Malaysia wants on their A330-900 Neo. This is definitely some exciting news coming out of Toulouse. And for the final topic of the video, we are moving on to Comac. And this news that comes out with this is that China Eastern were able to fly the first C919 outside of mainland China. And the flight flew between Shanghai and Hong Kong on a charter-based flight. And according to China Eastern, the route was just to fly students between the two places. However, in regards to this, it's definitely a great step in the right direction for Comac, as they hope this might spread their wings with international customers, since they've not yet got international customers. But this is definitely good news for Comac, and we'll have to see if this could maybe bring in some international customers. And with that brings the end of this news for this week. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!